folks. Now we come to the fifth installment, and this one's directed by Stephen Hopkins, who also did Predator 2. I don't think he really did a lot after this and Predator 2. I mean, I know he did, I think, the movie called The Reaping, which is with Hilary Swank. But other than that, I don't think he's really directed anything after that. I mean, at this point, Freddy was, again, a phenomenon. They made a Freddy TV show that was supposed to be like Tales from the Crypts in a way. But of course that was short-lived, because then, religious people got an uproar, and this isn't good television for children, and, so I guess that helped destroy that interesting idea. But then because I was watching the documentary on this one, and Bob Shayak's he even admits I stopped paying attention after a while, and just of the production. So then he's like, I blame the production. I'm like, it's your company that made the TV series, and then you're going to blame them, even though you were the head of, doing it. But but the idea for this one, where, Alice is pregnant, who's the survivor from, the last film, The Dream Master, my favorite, and, this one, with Lisa Wilcox coming back, Robert Englund, of course, as Freddy, also, the guy that played Dan, who's also named Dan in real life, he comes back. He dies shortly, though, after a few scenes. His death is pretty cool, where he gets, morphed into like a steampunk almost Iron Man, Motor Man, or Cycle Man, or I don't know what to call him really. But I liked his death scene, although it's sad because the idea, the characters in this are fine. I didn't really care for Alice's friend Devon, the black girl, who, she doesn't believe, granted, but come on, there's a difference between, being stubborn and, just being annoying with it, and, she annoyed the crap out of me with this. She's like, why don't you just leave Springwood? Go off somewhere for a while. And, Greta's death scene is almost interesting, but then it's butchered by MPAA. Of course, because this movie was neutered bad. If you, I believe Friday the 13th Part 7 came out last year, 1988. This came out 89. And they rushed this movie, even Robert Englund in the documentary, it was rushed. They really rushed it. So, that explains, some of the editing in this. I understood what was going on, but it's even the ending, though. And the fact is, it's even more upsetting that they didn't even finish. They even have a whole script done for this movie. They had, I guess, outline of, what was supposed to happen, but they didn't fully, commit to certain stuff, and then they would change it, and I think this one had 3 writers, and this one also, granted, it wasn't a big box office success. It made money, a decent amount, I believe. It was still not really well talked about, but, it made money. But the fact that, people want to say this is the start of the decline in the series, I disagree. Because there's interesting elements in this. I like the direction by Stephen Hopkins. He's more of a visionary. He's like a Zack Snyder, um, type, or his visuals are stunning, like they're interesting, but he should not be. He doesn't really need to direct. Like they should have somebody else direct, and then have him do like the special effects stuff and camera shots, but have like somebody else direct like certain stuff. Like I think they should have had at least 2 directors for this or something. Like I would have had him just do like visuals and maybe some directing, but then have it mostly to like somebody else. Um, I believe a one script was they described it as like a Steven Kubrick type of Nightmare on Elm Street, and the people at New Line said, this is like that. We don't like that. We don't want that." Well, I don't even know who that is. I'm guessing that's a pretty good director, writer, whatever. I would have liked to have seen that one, but and even the ending, like I grew up on this one, and even like I didn't mind the ending to this, but now like it's kind of lame because it's like Freddy's using Alice's unborn baby, who is able to dream himself somehow into like a form in her dreams, but in his dreams, she goes into his dreams, but then Freddy gives birth to himself through his mom, who was in the 3rd film, but then she doesn't show up for the 4th one, which whatever. And then they decide to bring her back. I did like the interplay between him and his mom when Freddy resurrects himself again. I did like the puppet, the baby Freddy that they had, the little animatronic puppet as Freddy, as baby Freddy. I thought that was pretty cool. You see him at the beginning and then at the end. But I mean, again, like the kills aren't really much to run home about. I did like Mark's kind of dream sequence where he's basically a comic book fanatic. I liked his character. That's a pretty cool idea where like somebody who's so obsessed with like comics and then they get sucked into different comic books and then they gotta try to survive different comic novels or whatever. I would like to have seen that movie. But but then he dies, and I did like the black and white stuff. I think they actually painted the whole set like all black and white or whatever, out of color, and then they had the actor in color. But then they would like, I forget how they described it, but it was pretty cool. I did like how Freddy. Granted, some people probably laugh at Freddy on a skateboard. I don't know. I liked how he had like his knife, or not his knife, his blades on the side of the board, on the back of the board. I don't know. It was like a claw board in a way. But yeah, overall, I didn't mind this one. Again, I don't mind this one, but it's like there's stuff I like about it, but then there's stuff that holds it back, like the ending, and then this how Freddy dies in this, which is, again, you go from a pretty amazing death in the 4th one to this one where Alice's kid just barfs, and even the actor that played Jacob describes it as that. I barf on Freddy, and it goes through him, and then spirits come out of him, and like even the special effects for that are pretty cool, but then they pull baby Freddy out of adult Freddy, which is, I don't understand that, but okay. And then Freddy's a baby again, and then his mom grabs him and then, consumes him, I guess, inside her body. But then by the end, it's like he's trying to escape from her, so then his claws come out and she's trying to, wrestle with him. I mean, that's a pretty creepy scene where the camera just zooms quickly out of frame. You see Freddy struggling out of his mom, and then the final slam to the screen or whatever. And then it's just Alice, her dad, and Yvonne or Devon, whatever her friend's name is. They survive, but then they have the the series team of little girls jump roping and singing song. Oh, I forgot to mention in the fourth one, the soundtrack to the fourth one is amazing. I recommend if anybody is a fan of the movie, then track down that soundtrack. Even the opening song in the fourth one, sung by Tuesday Knight, who plays Kirsten. I love that song. Here they don't really do I get they wanted to go back to Freddy being dark, and people make fun of his makeup in this one. I don't mind it. It's whatever. I like certain aspects of Freddy in this. I like that he's darker a bit in this. He's more creepy. Again, I love his interplay between the interplay between him and his mom when she first comes on the scene when he resurrects himself, and then Freddy vanishes into smoke when he's like, "We'll see, we'll just see," and then there's fog and he disappears into the fog. I don't know, I like that. I wish the movie was more with that instead of this. But again, it's an unfinished. I mean, it's finished, but the movie, you can tell stuff is rushed. It's death right after the next, a few talky scenes, and then death again, and then talk, and then death scene. And again, there's only really one good death scene, and it's Dan's. But I mean, again, Greta's death scene is sort of interesting, but then it's the MPAA cut so much from it, so it's not really that great. You can't really see, you can see potential, but then they don't allow you to see the full, scene. But yeah, the acting in this is pretty good. Robert Englund, of course, as Freddy is amazing. I know a lot of people claim he looks tired out playing this. Although, I mean, I don't blame him, considering all the hard, work that went into this one. I mean, the fact that he said, Robert Englund mentioned, this is probably the most physical, one of the most physical ones in the franchise that he was a part of, where he would, the scene where, towards the end, when Alice and Jacob are, with Freddy in that church or whatever, and there's these cool upside down camera shots of Freddy upside down, and Jacob up on a staircase, and he's running on the side of the screen, and the camera's Dutch angled, or stuff is upside down, and there's again good camera angles, but the story, I think, and then also people didn't like the whole, this movie's trying to be more than just an Elm Street movie, where they try to do themes of abortion and other stuff, and is it right to do, is it not right to do, and I mean, I'm not even going to get into my views on that stuff, but I can see why this one was a bit uncomfortable for some people at the time. Even now, probably today, it probably would be butchered. But yeah, overall, I like elements of it. I think it's a decent installment. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's one I don't mind. Of course, Freddy's dead, which I will get to. But and the opening of that one, I didn't really understand the text. I didn't like the text, the explanation and stuff with that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Please like and subscribe, share, comment, and yeah.